Today we're gonna work on a delicious, nutritious Caesar salad. Tableside, the type of Caesar salad that the maitre d' or the captain in a fancy restaurant will come to your table with a little guéridon, a little rolling cart, and bring it to you and do everything tableside. Of course, you can ditch the tableside aspect of it if you do it for the house and just enjoy the recipe. So without further ado, let's get started. Now we're about to make some croutons for Caesar salad. I took a Pullman loaf. This is a white bread Pullman loaf, and I removed the crust for consistency of appearance, and I cubed it, and I will use a little bit of blended oil, a mixture of olive oil and canola oil, and then with a gloved hand toss it well so that it absorbs a little bit of the oil, nice and even. I do not add salt or seasoning. I will let the lettuce and the dressing do the seasoning. The major role of the croutons is to have that crispy feel to it. I spread them on a half a sheet pan covered with a pan liner, and I will put these in a preheated oven at 350 degrees until they turn blonde brown, crispy and succulent. Now the croutons that just came out of the oven, nice and crispy all the way through, to add the crunch you're looking for in the salad. Step that we're gonna have to wash this lettuce well. So one of the way I do this is by cutting the base of it, and I'm leafing the leaves and looking for, if there is a few bad leaves, you remove them. Now some partial, we will remove a little bit of partial brown if there is some. But notice that I put some ice in the water. This is Houston, Texas, and it's warm here in the summer for the lettuce to be colder. Not so much ice that you're gonna freeze the lettuce, mind you, but just a little bit of ice, and it will be nice and cold. Now, I've seen you can do the whole lettuce like this, and I've seen people throw away the center of the lettuce, which is the heart of the lettuce, and that's the best part. So please never do this. You want to use the whole center part all the way to the center, and here I'm showing it to you. So here we are. Let it soak for a little while. If a few leaves are a little wilted, by letting it soak a little bit, they freshen up again. They absorb a little bit of that moisture, and they freshen up nice and crisp again. Shake most of the excess water out. If you see a few leaves with a little bit of brown, just set them aside, and then we're gonna trim that away. You do not throw away the entire leaf, okay? Here we are. And so we're checking for little brown spots, cut them out. Now, there is a discussion of tearing versus cutting. I do believe in cutting because you can do higher volume in cutting and less bruising of the lettuce. If you do production, if you do just a few salads, you could do tearing. So now for the lettuce, I like to put the leaf together like this, again for production. And I'm gonna cut, depending on the size of the leaf, maybe several cuts this way, or these are smaller. So I cut like this and then like this. And again, we're talking about industry work where you're gonna have to have some production. Also, keep the crunchy part. That's part of romaine. That's one of the characteristics. Now, depending about how clean or how much dirt there would be in the lettuce, you may need to wash it a couple of times. This is fine, this is good. Now we're gonna spin dry it to remove the moisture. Now this is a small house-like size.
Salad
spinner. The industry has some larger units. Some you pull a string, some you just, it's mechanical and you press like this. So it turns at a high speed, and it removes all the excess of water before you toss the salad with the dressing. So you do not water down your dressing. So now your salad has been washed and it's going to be ready for the next step, tableside, to do the dressing in front of the or next to the customer, and then plate it right there and then. And this is the Gary dough. Little cart brought narrow little table on rails that he brought next to the table, so that one can do it a dessert or different types of dishes tableside, as we're gonna do our Caesar salad tableside. And so we have here the garlic, we have the anchovy paste or fine chopped anchovy fillets. We have the egg yolk that will help to emulsify the dressing, olive oil, lemon juice, and croutons. And of course the Parmesan cheese. So the thing I want to do, I'm going to take a little bit of garlic here, and I'm going to kind of flavor the bowl with the garlic. Once I get the bowl flavored, I can add a little bit more of the garlic, and then I'm going to put my yolk. And stir the yolk well. A little bit of lemon juice. Notice how I wrap the lemon. The lemon's very important. Anytime you do lemon juice, you do not want to have seeds to get in the product. Biting in a seed of lemon is very, very bitter, and it's very displeasing. I'm gonna add a little bit of the anchovy paste. The anchovy paste has a nice little, it's not strong enough to be not pleasant. It has a little umami taste to it. Nice little background flavor. We're going to incorporate the oil little at a time to form an emulsion in the bottom of the bowl. Notice how I don't use a whisk. I use like the fork that I'm going to use to toss the. Again, it's more a tool that I will use for tableside service, not something I would use in the kitchen. But you see the emulsion forming already. You do not want to add the oil too fast for two reasons. One of them, if you do add it too fast, it will break the emulsion. And the other one is you will cut down the time you're entertaining your guests. So you need to really vigorously stir it in the bottom of the wooden bowl with that fork. A lot of times the table side, they're going to do it for a minimum of 2 people, 2 to 3, because of the labor involved, to make it worth it for the maitre d' or whoever's doing the work. You see how well emulsified it is? And all this, who would have thought that you can do this with just a fork, right? Here we are. And now I'm going to season this a little bit with salt. This is sea salt, but you could use any other salt. Remember your anchovy paste is salty. So do not overdo it. Freshly ground pepper. In the dressing, I'm going to add a little more juice, a little more acidity, and also to loosen up a little bit the dressing. Now I'm going to add the lettuce, some croutons, and I will reserve a few croutons for the garnish on top of the plate. Tossing. Leaf lettuce is in my book, the only way to serve properly a leafy green. And I'm gonna do a little cheese in the mix. Parmesan cheese grated. Look at this. Doesn't look yummy. You can smell it, you can look at it, you know it's well evenly coated. And now you get ready to plate. You're gonna bring the plate closer. Could be 1 or 2, 3 servings. and we're gonna grate it now. Now this is not a luncheon salad, this is not a dinner salad because we do not serve a protein. You can add a couple of croutons on top for garnish and a little sprinkle of cheese. Again, you can ask the customer if they want extra cheese, extra pepper, et voila.